Hello everyone, how are you? The milestone of success. Have you even wondered what really market a man success in business? Join Winemaker, a man which name is trounced the world of retail. Don't start with best research of magic shortcut you some way. He built an employer that changed shopping forever. What was his secret? This is story 124. We are much more afraid for combination of capital 10. We have any reason for begin. Competition results everything for that king, not origination. Can make images profiles for any length of time without its failed son soaring with competence. It requires brain and muscles to manage any kinds of business, and the some elements which have produced business success in the past will product it now and will allow products it. There are better factorials for doing business and more business to be done. Information in the shop of books as newspaper in now in the rest of L, and the young man has two opportunities where he formality had on. It seemed to me that the condition of today are even more favorable to success then when I was a boy. I think I called success as will now as in the past. I have had it said 100 times that Mr. Winemaker started when success was easy. Here is what he say himself about it: who does not make mistake, who if I were to think only of the mistake I have made, I should be miserably indeed. I have heard people marvel at the unbroken upwork cost of Mr. Winemaker's career and lament that they so often make mistake. But hear him: a man can drive a horse who has never shown on. No, I must just having training most canon how to buy and sell. Only experience teacher that when asked if a man with means but no experience would be safe in embarking in a Mercedes business, he replied, quality trust is become to the embellished and sorriest impolites in a small way. A university in white changers in burdened by intelligence instruction productly applied. A well-ordered modern retail store is the means of education in sleeping, writing, English language system and method. The effects upon the changer and capacity of the employees are good. The small store is hardened open. The salesperson and clerk in general, if may be started that urgent retail store have shortened the house of labor and by systematic discipline have made it language reduce it price estimate constitution and insurance employment, and it is showed opponents that the employment created by the department store go to women without curtain, then of men. The department store is a natural product evolved from condition from X as a result of fixed trade laws exclusive capital combined of capital fins opportunity interest conditions which are harmonious with the irreducible determination of the producer to meet the consumer necessity and of merchants to find distribution along the line of least resistance. What better proof do you want tree are eroding to statist a greater number of purposed small store in the city than even before you old experienced a man to part an Iran brand about his business in order to prevent explosion old you small store will keep and developing into big ones. L of the greater store were small at on the when asked whether the small tradesman has any showed today against the great department store. He sighed his views no business, no matter how trouble the subject brewing before him. He taketh it up with the appearance of on when he has nothing else on his mind, a factor of his make up that has contributed largely to his success is his ability to contrast his throwing. I must write a volume trying to tell you how to success. On way is to know be a babe, taking a hint from a Mr. I care to tell way. Succeeded basis I objected to talking about myself. It is modest. When upon on assumption he was asked to name the essential of success, he replied curtly he can work continually for a long time without sleep and without evidence of strain and make up for it by a good rest after work. In on pencil particular, Mr. Winmaker is very remarkably he was allowed claim under the greatest stress he never lost his heart, a serene confidence in a growing power his allowed been on of the Winmaker characteristic to toiling, think you trusting in good. I replied to this question when X said he replied to what Mr. Winmaker do you attribute your great success? The more we push our other you better. You need not be after of overshooting the mark even writing them don't help to concentrate you mind on the part of the work as you go along. Pick up suggestions here and three jot them down and send them along. I often pick up thrones from stronger. We are very pleasing people if we should are early and easy the what other people are doing. I cannot advise young men who write me on the subject to do on this while throwing L3 energies into it. The sheriff reasoned, said Mr. Winmaker upon assertion that everybody is not successful is the fact that they have not inched persistently reversed version. Public service at home, line by line, reverse it. It 129. It showed what presidency can do. I show what intelligence well directed thirst effort can do, and it promised that a man might devote himself to helping others, to the Sunday school, to the church, to brand plenty and still be wonderful success in a business way. The line of source a life should be present to every young man. In teacher, the value of interning effect of economy of common sense applied to common business. I cannot of no career it this country did officer more encouragement to young people. He is first of all a Christian. John Winemaker said to do that his business success is due to his religious training. He began with two teachers and thirdly seven proposed, and at the recent anniversary reported a school of 4500, a tourist with 3700 member, 50 having been added during the past year. Several branded and source of department originalization. He has been of 40 year superintendent of the Veterinary Sunday School in Pointland Pier. Mr. Winemaker was married with. He has the specialty of the we may see two on women he met at the church service and who has been it full simplicity with his religious activity. The before breakfast assembly of the purporter in finished in the power granted and every graced in latent with floor tropic a big resource and or saints home stand nearby. His house is a home like strongly with wood pigeons standing upon the crest of a hill in the midst of a noble land. He is fond of the field and the river, the trees and flower, and all the growth with which God has beautified the earth. It is his dwelling to pass most time at his country seat in Jonkintown. Nobody even saw him dressed in any other color than black with a black neckerchief under a toned brown collar, but he allowed look at a stream as if he were just out of the hands of Brand Trailer and Barber. His almost 6 feet tall and finely built, and all his mountains have in them the spices of health. He wear a hat that is only 6 and 7 inches in size but is almost completely calculator in from. His face is as soft as a boy and a mobile as in actors, and when lighted up a discussion it's become with explosion. He was a full round, had a broad forehead, a strong nose, heavily eyed, easy that fished with energy, heavy joints that denoted strong of will, and tight closed teeth that just drop at the corners, giving an even percent toast of sentenced like all other managed and forceful men. Mr. Winmaker in stacking in appearance strong rather than handsome. That is the most adoring king of property, the executor, a property of sword which no distant can work of run. Whatever may be the change, the small sweep over our field, and no power can never take any from you. Your investment in technology, let us not be content in men the most collar make the largest insulative and web the largest quantity of carpets, but amid the shout of the pick, the blow of the hammer, the rattle of the lomps, and the roar of the masonry, take care that the immortal mechanism of goods on hand, the mind and still full trended for the highest and noble service. In the course of his address, he related this is was no called up to invest in a expedition to recover sponged magnesium and do bomb from the Spanish men which for help a century had lain under the rolling waves in a sunken fragrance. But young men, he continued, I cannot of better exploration that this right at home deep down under the sea of negativity and ignorance and discouragement near you on field line translated in told, and you can have Team L for you own by earnest watch and factful study and proper care. Mr. Winmaker, a view of what life is for are well exported in the following expert from one of the address of young men. Consequently, Mr. Winmaker is not without precedent malaged, greeting himself will heads by the worst men in the community. It is bigotry, it is millions, but it maker in amiss his idea of Christian truth was evidently derived from the scenes winners. The Mister took a suggest and drove the corrupt trader and office holder out of the temple. He heads a broom, but he heads a translator for more. Farkly, he has been forever promoted by his religion, conservative the process by either in the tribe or in municipal, state or national life. It is a citizen he has allowed take a most possible course in opposition to the evils that their rich society. Mr. Winmaker has devoted his attention almost entirely to his business and his chose work with the explosion of his team of service as Postmaster General of the United States in President hardware cavitation and service which has maker by great ability and the insulation of many reformed giving up $5,000 year a business completer 135 on side Mr. Rusent that it and that is what it is so hard to get That is when every supporter stops for and inlet he attends it. His work, from my point of view, in Warner's Trist must be life in instant. In most almost better in reports there must tree is first and real assertion tree withal attached there is reports I cite in admiration. We jaded at is settled and clothed in fertile armor of the old Roman type and holding a sword assaults its cannon. The great Musars spoke of strong and force and it with it he was almost began to upon the military basis. The stake a force will be set with my state of wisdom on the new court of appeals in New York. In 1892, I came to New York at the World Fair. The change it had the place of honor and rebate and of the 11 Grant Medal given to American support. I returned with it to Paris and in a month and a quarter it was exhibited in the saloon. A weekly man seat launched give me $1,000 to have my evening part into Marbella. My father extraordinary consolation me strong to save. I rose in the estimation of even my family. I begged it to America and exported in the set launched. I supported. You can release my finding. I exported the first forced in victory when I returned to Paris. I saw my name in the paper with honorable mentions. I sent it to the saloon and went to Italy. I finished it in now month. In possibility suits blood in my work. In 2 months I started on my female figure of everything in the nude that is now in the metropolitan museum of art of the student life in Paris that showed the some personal had confident in me and in my talent. In found moment in state launched I sold 7 order for bust at $200 is to be done after my return from France. My family and friend lunged me to sons and I was disjudged by everyone. I determined that I would return see my step to Paris and study chief for trust year and trust that would be sufficiently to full develop me. I returned of America, Pennsland, but with a greater incident into art. But there was some work that completely but me. I traveled through Europe for 5 months and visited and Frank saloon. Yes, with but $250 he replied any you won't abound, but I was confident in myself, which is hell of the better, but I had found my life work, said Mr. Rook's stem, turning to me. I can if would be strongly touched poverty till I attended female when I told to purporter stand I had decided to be a supporter. He generated at me in bank assessment. I super he could it incidentally and made a few very discouraging remarks imposed with decence. Where young men are you growing to their up the change of a lifetime? I will give you $5,000 a year and promote you to be manager if you will remain with me. I was advanced in position in the store till I become assistant management at $2,000 a year. You see what Gaines has to contend with. I was not every allowed to work in the attached hero, Mr. Recently largest, yes, but my father and mother put every obstacle in the way possible. I was driven from room the room, but that inspire you. At throwing, I was giving the first prize model and the $150 assuming it throwing just that I was not competent to carry out the work. When the community discovered that I was only a bill clear in a store, I recovered the first prize. I entered the competition for a state of General Frank R. Blair notice appeared in the paper about me, for I was popular in the community. I had sold a possible in a store at and at of time worked at what I had allowed love, but had only hell released it. Though language and ridiculed me, I told my friend that I would be a salt peltor. My skin skeleton admitted me to the state lost skin club. At that time I saw a cow skirt. I said to myself, I cannot do as well as that, and I capitate it. Any you had do nothing at art so fair. I existed for a you. I could not found a turn to do and become discover. I went to California and at on time thought of shopping for China. I went to Colorado, defunded into Aaron John, prosecuted Mined and worked on a ranch pulled of stock and started on a haphazard recycled career. She did a year after work, and when I turned 5 years off again, the girl of when I was attended was forced by her mother to marry a worldly man. Everyone was sorry to part with my service, for allow did my detention as well as they could be done. I departed from the position at to another. I am a man sold, but what am a good for when I told make of this life? I tried to analogy myself right from the papers to belong to the prominent lively club. My friend thought I would be says a literally man. I began the study of politely and keep up my reading for then years, enjoyed a view of the estate, a Nelson, a telephone, Scurry London into a plaster sketched, then time as large as the picture, but still I don't not count my part. Between as again of 14 and 19 I worked in the photographer Sophie store, write on hands poem and read incident. I think he hoped that I would be says minister on the Modi and Sanki come to town, and my father made me attend to meeting. He was a very point me and a dicton in a church. He come to this country in a sailing ship from Alsace by way of the Gulf of Steel, lost when I was but 6 years old. My father was a foreman in a state lost matching shop. I was allowed recording out of seeking the beautiful. I was poet every school filter of artist in Nesante a post, but as a by Mr. Rukenstill, my life quoted F. Wilton, resolution one of the foremost sculptors of American East. We sat in his studio looking up at his hog fort of fort. When did I begin to sculpture as a chair? I was forward waiting, but I did not have dream that of becoming a sculptor. It was not till I was thirdly 2 years of again and loving disappointment in my first love clever. I prominent part will giving up $5,000 a year to be a sculptor. Thanks for watching, and please my video like, comment, share and subscribe.